What? You don't know what a PEC Master is? As I walk to the field where I play all my games, I take a look at my master and realize it's kinda lame, but that's okay for an athlete like me, but I'm used to rocking a oblong victory. Well, I can't really blame you, as PEC, which stands for Product Engineering Corporation. Yeah, real paintball-y sounding, isn't it? Anyways, they were only around for a couple of years in the mid-90s. You guys already saw the other PEC marker, the Combat, in an old Bly 11 episode where I pulled the bushes off break stunt. And yeah, it's just your run-of-the-mill stack 2 blowback. But the Master is something more. It's the upscale version, all dressed to impress. And you know what? I've fallen for this gun. Yeah, it looks kind of milsim-y. It's got that M16 foregrip, the carrying handle, and back bottle adapter with that lovely CO2-friendly angle that makes playing a bunker tight more difficult than staying alive during a slapstick run at Living Legends. But the Master is different, and it was made during the golden age of stack 2 blowbacks. Instead of Nintendo versus Sega, it was a massive free-for-all of dozens of startup companies all making a spin on the design. Guns from Sheridan, Aero Precision, Spider, Tippmann, Brass Eagle, and ACI all had a similar but different approach to making the design and tried their best to bribe a good review from the half-dozen paintball magazines that circulated in the mid-90s. None of these companies' guns look the same, unlike today, where blowbacks are reserved for the absolute cheapest way to play, and have all molded into either the Spider clones or the Tippmann 98 clones. Here's some cool features. Alright, so what's so special about this gun anyways? Well, first of all, instead of having a retaining pin that holds in your internals, like your hammer and bolt and springs and all, the grip frame itself actually acts as that. It wraps around the top, and the back cap holds it in place. So all you have to do is take your back cap off, and then you can get your internals out. Also, instead of welding on the feed neck, which tends to break, they instead just put a bar on there and clamped it there, so it won't come off. Also, the plug, you'll notice, has an indicator on it, making sure you know which way the plug is facing. And even onto the shroud, it has a clamp on top to stop it from moving around. Little stuff like that. The bolt is pretty much the earliest example of a Delrin Venturi design that I think I've ever seen, as the Venturi porting craze wouldn't hit full swing for a few more years. But look how, unlike every other modern Sheridan-based bolt design, there's no hole on the bolt for intercepting air from the main valve. Instead, air is routed through the hammer itself, up through a hole in the gun's locking pin that locks the bolt to the hammer, and fed directly through the bolt, just like a spool valve, in an effort to reduce blowback, I think. Speaking of the valve, you access it by taking off the M16 style barrel shroud and unscrewing what would normally be a low pressure chamber. The entire valve comes out, leaving the body empty of all parts for easy cleaning. Velocity is adjusted via a volume reducing set screw at the front instead of spring tension at the rear, like normal Spider style blowbacks. And here is what I discovered makes this gun so great. I was kind of careless when screwing the valve body back into the gun and managed to slice the valve sealing O-ring upon reinserting it. And as a result, the gun vented down the barrel, so I was really pissed. I was angry. You know, this is an ancient gun, no parts are commonly available for it. I definitely don't have a spare in my tech kit, so I thought I just, broke it doing a stupid internet video. But then the Master surprised me. And this is something that just had to be by design. I took off the hidden shroud barrel plug and grabbed onto one of its 2 sealing O-rings that were left on there. And I thought it looked really similar, so I slapped it on the valve and, lo and behold, it fixed it. It fit. The Master sealed right up and shot like a champ. And that's why this gun's so fucking cool. That alone made it easy to overlook the safety that kind of falls out and how difficult it is to play with on the airball field, but that thing surprised me. And one more thing is, the Master can actually handle HPA with ease, considering, the vast majority of mid-90s blowbacks were for CO2 only, and this gun shot great for its age. And it was definitely ahead of that milsim curve that would only begin to take off like a decade later. The Master still has its supporters out there. I mean, look, it has its own fan website. No, I'm serious, this actually exists. In fact, PEC's website still exists, although I don't know when the last time it was updated. So that's the Master. A Volvo in paintball form. A multi-tool with a power feed. A gun that reminds us there's more ice cream flavors than vanilla and chocolate. Actually, I think I'm gonna go get some ice cream right now. I'm feeling spumoni.